So yesterday, President Trump talked with Axios, which is an online thing, and he said, we're low-keying it with Iran. All right, but that's not what most Americans want to hear. It may be the best strategy. I don't know. I've said many, many times, I do not get the morning briefings about the situation in Iran, and neither does any other journalist. So most of these people just talk off the top of their head. They don't know what they're talking about. I do have some insight into the situation, and I'm going to tell you now. So let's begin on March 3rd, shortly after President Trump decided to take on Iran. Go. If Iran goes south, the president's going to have some problems. This is a big gamble on his part. Big. Now, if it turns out like Venezuela, he's going to be a hero. But boy, he's rolling the dice. So I knew that because I know the region, all right? And I know the dynamic inside Iran and what the totalitarian theocracy is all about. If you're going to fight these people, as we saw in Afghanistan and Iraq, you got to kill them. Okay? You can't be doing anything short of that to cut the head of the snake. And President Trump doesn't want civilians to die in an air war, which is noble. You don't want to be killing women and children and nothing to do with these mullahs. And then I get letters, well, why don't we just kill the mullahs? We don't know where they are. Like the Hamas terrorists, as will they live underground. If we did know, we would go in and get them, but we don't know. Okay, so I knew, and I did have a conversation with President Trump about this, that defeating this enemy was going to be exceedingly difficult. Not Venezuela, not Panama, not Greenland, none of that. So I knew that. I don't know whether the president had enough information about what could go wrong. Okay. So on June 25th, 2025, about a year ago, a little more, we bombed Iran's nuclear labs. Remember that? Of course you do. Blew them up. And Iran did not strike back. No Strait of Hormuz, none of that. We went in, boom, knocked them out. Then, according to U.S. intel and Israeli intel, almost immediately the mullahs started building another nuclear facility at a place called Pickaxe Mountain. Pickaxe Mountain. Almost immediately after they got waxed, they started up again. So the president, who was correct in saying, look, you got a theocracy who has no will to save anybody and wants to kill every Jew in America they can. You can't have a nuke. But to take the nuke away has become chaotic. That fair? I think so. All right, so on February 28th, 5 days before I issued that soundbite that there's a big roll of the dice, Israeli and American planes went in, decapitated the first theocratic regime, killed them all. But then the second team was just sitting there in a bullpen. Right? Coming in, there's no difference. And then they said, well, this time we're going to wage economic warfare, which they have successfully. So that's where we are, that the worldwide economy, obviously includes America, getting hurt. Prices are going up. People are paying more money. People are mad. They don't want to pay more money. And we're not getting anywhere. At least we don't see it. So this has become a huge problem for the president and for the United States because nobody's helping us. Nobody's helping us. Israel's not helping us. They just shot down, pardon the pun, the Gaza peace treaty. So they're not helping. Now, the mullahs understand that they might be able to wait out Trump and Trump might lose the midterms in 3 months. They got it. It's not hard to see it. In the meantime, Iran itself is going down the drain. You know, inflation is crazy. Unemployment rate about 10%. Inflation in June, 89%. And there is a blockade. So the Iranian people are suffering. Do you think the mullahs care about their opium? No. They don't care at all. It's not a concern, not in the top 10. All right, so the oil tankers they're getting through, but it is dangerous. And Iran is obnoxious. They've just issued a bunch of stuff that President Trump has to do, apologize, reparation. It's never going to happen. They don't want peace. They want to just see if they can run it out, run out the clock. That's where we are. So what would I do if I were in the Oval Office? Number one, I take out Pickaxe Mountain tomorrow. Boom. Same thing that we did a year ago. Just blow the hell out of it. And will that get the uranium that's deep underground? I don't know. But it's certainly not going to help, and it sends a message. Reminds everybody why this is happening in the first place. Okay? Number two, I would single out targets in the capital of Tehran and give fair warning to the people who live in that city that we're going to blow up your infrastructure. So water, electricity, all of those things, boom. And I would say in social media and leaflets or whatever you want to use, get out of there. I give the Persian people some, get out. It's over. We're not taking it anymore. Going to blow the infrastructure up in this city, and you're going to have a very hard time surviving. I think that if Trump did that, he'd be condemned all over the world. I believe that he would be, including the Democratic Party here. Well, what's the alternative? What is it? So that's number two. And the third thing is our allies, so-called, Saudi Arabia, Emirates, all of that, they got to just take it easy. We got to run this show, not them. And there's got to be a meeting of the mind. They all should come to Washington. All those leaders should come to Washington and say, look, enough. This is a rogue nation, a dangerous nation. You know it. Everybody knows it. Nuke goes off in this area, Saudi Arabia, what are they going to do? They're right in the zone. So those are the three things that I would do. And I don't call President Trump and tell him. I don't do that. I don't intrude. Because again, I don't have all the information about what the situation is. But I don't know how much longer he can stick this out, because even if it comes out our way and the mullahs surrender or we get what we want, which is opening of the strait and weapons inspectors, I don't know now if Donald Trump can overcome what has happened in the last 6 months. I don't know. Might be able to if the economy snaps back hard and prices go down, but the perception is he doesn't have control over it. It may not be fair, and again, the president's doing the right thing. Can't let this nation have the nukes. But something's got to give now. Time's up. And that's a memo.